Hello, Internet. Welcome to the movie review for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and let me start this right off the bat. For all of the people out there who say that this movie's bad, it's terrible, and everything else like that, it's really not. It's actually a pretty interesting film, and it does some interesting things with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that pretty much actually make me like it a little bit more than most of the other Michael Bay-esque movies that actually came out recently. Or for what I'm talking about, I'm talking about the earlier Transformers films, and I actually really like this one over the first one, or at least like it's a pretty good sequel to the first one, especially since that for one we actually get way more turtles. And that's pretty much what I like. You gave me Bebop and Rocksteady. You actually gave me a pretty interesting take on Bebop and Rocksteady that still kind of has the bumbling aspect to it, but then again, I'm like, they're idiots, so, you know. And honestly, yeah, I wanted way more Krang. I actually wanted to see the Technodrome actually be built. So for what it was now, it's actually nice as a good teaser to kind of say, okay, this is going to be the problem for the next film. So that's also good. Also, give or take with what was going on with the Shredder and Baxter Stockman. I like that a lot too, but I really wanted more Shredder, or at the very least, I wanted him to say way more. Karai, sadly enough, she kind of didn't say anything. She kind of just said one thing. I think she said the Shredder's name, and she got knocked out with a laptop. So sadly, Karai is kind of just there. But other than that, though, in terms of just looking at the characters alone and what they wanted to, the characters and the presentation, I actually liked everything so far. You know, it's an hour and 40-minute movie, and I know that some people when they were watching this film, they were really annoyed because, of course, reviews have been dropping like hotcakes so far, and a lot of people kind of voice their opinions upon this movie, and they kind of forget that this is a movie that's supposed to be about talking turtles that live in the sewer and eat pizza. I mean, sure, they start this thing off with a Knicks game, and sure, you know, Vern is back and he's, you know, doing like his little goofy stuff. April O'Neil, she actually comes off way more competent in this one, in terms of gathering information and trying to she was gathering information. She was trying to look into Baxter Stockman, and they were trying to keep the Shredder in jail. So pretty much for a lot of people that were kind of, or I can understand how this could have pissed off a lot of people with the whole thing of this starting off with her like in disguise and talking to Baxter Stockman, trying to hack his laptop and stuff like that, and then or like his iPad and stuff like that, and then her throwing on like the school uniform and trying to sexy it up. Like, at the very least, it's not like she was just doing it like in the first Transformers film, where they were just ogling her body when she was trying to like look underneath the hood of her car. So that's very different versus what's going on with this one, of it saying, oh, okay, it's just a simple movie of her just trying to gather information. She reads her lines well, and then she moves on. You know, because I know a lot of people that they don't like Megan Fox, but still, it wasn't a problem for me. For what she did, she actually gave me a lot, so I'm happy for that. Casey Jones, on the other hand, after his one little fight with those few Foot Clan ninjas, you really don't see them all that often anymore, or at least like you don't really see him fight that often anymore. The only thing he really does is just he spends most of his time like in the police interrogation room. So I will give him that though. Mr. Arrow, he did a fantastic job. However, I'm kind of spoiled by the very first Casey Jones, who was interpreted in the movie of being the long-haired, like less psychotic Punisher. You know, vigilante who just goes around with a hockey mask on and just beats the shit out of people. And yes, I know he didn't wear his hockey mask all that much, but still, it wasn't all that bad. But as far as I know, I like this change that they did with the Ninja Turtles. And yes, some of the plot points they kind of went by really fast. But even with that though, I still like it. It wasn't all that bad. But until then, that is what I have to say about that. Also, on a side note, for people out there, you are very entitled to your opinions about this movie. But I noticed that a lot of people have been giving this movie a lot of slack, or at least they have, or not slack. They've been giving it a lot of hell because at the very least it's a very silly series, and I guess they wanted it to be really serious because they're like, yeah man, the brand new Ghostbusters movie, we're harping on that, and this one over here, it's terrible, and I'm like, actually it's not, because this shit's actually funny. I actually laughed out loud, well not out loud, but I laughed like a lot of the jokes in which that they told like in this series, in this movie. So it's not all that bad, but I can understand where they're coming from, because I guess with a more serious look up on the Ninja Turtles, you would kind of expect it to be a way more serious movie. But even with that though, like with it being like a very long and layered up story of them having to touch on so many things within like a short amount of time, it's like, we don't want this to turn into the animated TMNT movie where that, yes, it was a pretty good version of the Turtles, but people still didn't like that one because they were pretty much they were talking about their feelings and doing all this other stuff and all that. And I'm like, well, what's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie without them talking about being human? What's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle like anything without them wanting to be part of the New York society, and then them talking about like that they want to fit in, and Leonardo and Raphael lying about, oh okay, well now you are keeping things from me. So this one kind of has more of that family feel to it, so I kind of liked it a little bit more for that. So until then, that is what I gotta say about that. Please tell me what you think about this down there in the comment section, and please, if anybody says that you didn't like this movie because Bebop and Rocksteady were stupid, or like that the Turtles were doing silly things like talking about that they want to be ninjas and they're driving around in a fucking turtle van that's a fucking like garbage truck that shoots like lids and shit and stuff like that. Honestly, you are arguing that when it's a fucking kid show where they had that in the kids TV series. Like, where the fuck were these arguments then when we were children? They weren't there. So who knows? But also on top of that, the only real actual complaint that I can kind of say is that whoever played that lady detective, for a woman who made detective, she's pretty fucking daft. I will give her that. Because if this thing happened and the Turtles were behind it and they were shooting out the manhole covers and the nunchuck arms broke off broke off because they drove past the bridge and they just gave way, then wouldn't that debris still be there? Like, and even when she finds out like that, oh wait, these big ass turtles are like in the world, and then they tell her like, wait a second, Baxter Stockman like fucking he mutated Bebop and Rocksteady and turned them into fucking mutants. She's like, nah, that's fucking too much for me, you fucking liar. It's like, you just seen these four big ass turtles just come in, like flip through man the fucking window and just run the fuck out. Like, you don't have any questions for that? Like, when your suspicion of disbelief be like, wait, maybe he could be making mutants. And if anything, when you want to check that shit out, you know, it had to take until they had to get Vern involved until they got the fucking video feed. But till then, that is what I gotta say about that. I'll see you next time on the Next John Grave Show. Keep watching anime, keep playing video games. See you next time. And of course, the ending credits, they were awesome. I'm out. Hey internet, how's it going? I'm Batman, and I'm here to tell everybody to go ahead and check out this little book right here. It's called Ibarra. It's by my friend Deshaun R. Smith, and my book is in the back. My book is called Noir Prophecy, along with our crazy little collaboration book, Mizuki Dragon Warriors. And you can read the first introduction, or like you can read the introduction, the first few pages of it, and go ahead and check it out and show us some support and love. I'll leave a link down there in the description for it. Also, if you like this video, please go ahead and click over there and go ahead and click on the link, and it'll take you right to my last video. I'll see you next time on the next John Graves Show. Please keep watching anime, keep playing video games, and remember, I'm Batman.